Okay, folks, it's me, your buddy, Mike Messier. I'm here, but I'm just trying to get my beverage in order. I've been carrying around this beverage all day. I had an interesting day. Now, please, I'm going to have to turn the lights off because I'm using the dome light in my car. At one point, I did, based on the suggestion of a viewer, hopefully a subscriber. He said, "You're so dark. You're in the dark. Why don't you buy some lights?" So I actually bought some lights, like cheapo little lights. I forget what they're called. They have a specific name, but the problem is, or the situation is, I can never find the lights when I need them. And then if I find them, they usually don't have batteries in them. And if I buy the batteries, then they're not in the lights when I need them to be. Now there's all this goddamn noise going on. Holy God in heaven. Guess I'll roll up my window. Just everything's frustrating. That's part of life. Now I haven't done a Mike's Meals in a while because I felt so critiqued. I believe it was Mike Monty, my buddy on Monty and the Pharaoh show, made some hurtful statements about my doing these Mike's Meals, but others have been dying for them. Benny, now what we have here, folks, is failure to communicate, and also the gobbler. This is the Wawa's thing I've been trying to get for a month, but my local Wawas never seem to have them. This one does. I'm in the middle of Daytona, Florida. This thing looks piping hot, folks. This is what you call, I used to just call this a Thanksgiving sandwich. God in heaven. Now, it's good. It's good. This is good. For those of you who don't live in the American South, gas station food is a risky proposition. But Wawa lowers the risk. So they have this thing called Buc-ee's here now. I actually drove by a Buc-ee's. I was driving and I was on a phone call and I passed the Buc-ee's. Gentleman walking around with his pants hanging down beneath his buttocks while I'm trying to eat food. There's one thing in life that can be unappetizing, it's other human beings. I mean, yes, we have to share the planet with everybody, but at times, don't you just wish you could just kind of have less people in the world? Like a lot less? No one in particular. Just the amount of people. I mean, people need to pull up their pants when I'm trying to eat. Okay. Here's to me. The sandwich is pretty damn good. Here's the thing with Wawa. In case you ever find yourself in a Wawa situation, Wawa is best eaten. Wawa tastes the best when everything else is closed. I think I made the mistake twice of eating at a Wawa, like during normal business hours, and it wasn't as good. Like there's something about like it's only whatever the fuck 12 or 1 or I don't know. It's about midnight and still pretty early for me. And I'm just driving around saying I'll do a Mike's Meals. Chungus was excited about the Mike's Meals. We had a very interesting Kyle Rittenhouse interview today, or not interview, discussion. Interactive live stream. Now, my buddy AJ has been requesting a bunch of topics, AJ, sorry, buddy, I haven't done all your topics. To be honest, I forgot some of them, but one of them was Facebook or Twitter. Which is worse? You know, basically, like AJ was asking me to comment on social media. Um, and AJ has a recurring theme of being frustrated by these fake accounts on social media. A lot of them are of attractive women or even WWE women wrestlers. And he says, Mike, are all these scam accounts? I'm like, yeah, buddy, they are, bro. A lot of scam accounts. If you see Liv Morgan in particular, I don't know what it is about Liv Morgan. I mean, she's a cute girl and everything, but she's a female wrestler. She gets a lot of these fake accounts in her name. I feel bad for her. The real one, not the fake ones. So the point is, folks, please, if you're a pro wrestling fan and you get a friend request or some type of message from a female wrestler, please know it's not really her. And then AJ wanted to know what my thoughts, like what's worse, Facebook or Twitter. I understand. I do not know the full story though, but something to the effect of Facebook is thinking of changing its name, or it is changing its name to Meta something. I haven't done the full research yet, but apparently they want to be a full immersive experience, more so than it already is. I know a lot of good people, good friends of mine are leaving Facebook. I tend to stick around on Facebook, even though about 4 years ago I took an extended absence from Facebook. People are still talking about it. And I switched my Facebook name and I got a whole new account. I was very angry with it for a while. And then I just kind of did a reevaluation and I said, well, maybe it's me. Like, what about Facebook do I not like? And one of the things I don't like is when people post, in my opinion, and this is not to hurt anyone's feelings. Hold on. Need a little air in here. One of the things about Facebook that I don't like is when people like they overshare. I'll put my lights on. They overshare information. You know, like the worst when people used to do this a lot. They post like injury photographs, like, oh, here's me with my face all smashed in from a car accident, and then they post a picture of them in the hospital bed. Here's the thing, folks. Maybe it's just me. I don't like seeing photographs of people, either friends or family or anyone, in the fucking hospital. And I don't think those photographs should be posted online. Hear what I'm saying? Don't post your hospital pics online. It's disturbing. Nobody wants to see their friend or family member, or especially their just acquaintance, in a fucking hospital photo. I don't get it. I mean, back in the fucking day, you think Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin were posting hospital pics? You know what I mean? Look, everyone's going to get injured. Everyone's going to get sick. Everyone's going to have a fucking IV in their arm at some point in their life. I understand that. The difference between needing validation and being thirsty for approval or thirsty for a cyber hug and having some decorum and some fucking class is not posting hospital photos, trying to elicit cheap sympathy from the world to make yourself feel better. If you're that goddamn desperate to feel better, get a fucking puppy or a kitten, okay? I'm sorry, but that's just how I fucking feel about it. People that post hospital photos, it's a lot of you. So maybe you're hearing this. Oh, I posted a lot. Well, yeah, I'm talking to you. It's a lack of class, and it's disturbing to people. It makes you feel fucking better because everyone comments and likes and fucking heart emojis and care emojis and all this shit. But what you're really doing is disturbing the common good. Okay? So stick your fucking hospital photos up your goddamn ass. What else can I say? I mean, I don't like hospital photos. I think it's an abuse of structure and abuse of the platform. It's just Look, if you were to go to a goddamn dinner party in real fucking life, like say you went to a Christmas party, I said the word Christmas. If you go to the fucking Christmas party and you walk in and you're walking around the fucking little kitchen, you get up a little limp, and someone says, "Gee whiz, Mike, what's wrong?" You say, "Oh, I got into this terrible car accident. Now my leg hurts." "Oh, really? What happened?" "Well, let me show you." You pull out your fucking stack of Polaroids, and you're like, "Look at me. I'm in the fucking hospital. My head's all dented and I'm bloody." And you start passing around these fucking photographs, and people are trying to eat their fucking Christmas fruitcake and drink their eggnog. Do you think that's respectful to your friends and your family? The answer is fucking no. So why are you going on social media and sharing your goddamn hospital pics? Because you're thirsty for a fucking cyber hug. Get a real hug from real people in your goddamn life. If you're not getting those, go volunteer at a fucking soup kitchen. Those people will be appreciative. I just don't understand how stupid people are. I do, because everybody has fucking needs. Everyone needs to be validated like fucking children. If you go to the goddamn hospital, be stoic. Look up the fucking word. Stoic means you suffer in silence and you're a fucking man about it. Or a goddamn woman, whatever the fuck. I'm just telling you, no one wants to see your fucking hospital pictures. It's disgusting and it's disgraceful. And that's why I block motherfuckers that put them up. If someone posts a big long goddamn thing about some relative of theirs is suffering and they're dying and we need prayers, I block the fuck, or I put them on silence for a while. I snooze them for 30 fucking days. You know why? I've got my own goddamn problems, and I don't need to be fucking sitting around worrying about you and your fucking problems. Okay? If we're close, you would call me and I would call you. But if you're just a Facebook fuck, 2,500 people in the world that I'm friends with on Facebook, I can't handle all these prayer requests and fucking this one's got cancer and that one's got a broken toe. I've got my own goddamn problems. You've got your own goddamn problems. Keep your fucking prayer requests. Keep your fucking hospital pictures. Keep your fucking cancer updates to your fucking self in your inner circles. What can I fucking say? That's how I feel. So I don't want anyone getting upset. "Oh, you're talking about me and my cancer issue." Not you specifically, asshole. The world in fucking general. People have their goddamn panties in a fucking uproar. I'm just telling you how it fucking is. When people see your fucking hospital pics and your cancer prayer requests and all that shit, if they have a smart fucking cell in their brain like I do, they put you on snooze for 30 days so they don't have to deal with your shit, because we're all dealing with our own shit, assholes. What's Ian have to say? What's up, brother? Enjoy your Wawa. Hope all is well. Have a good night, man. Talk to you soon. Okay, Ian. Thanks, buddy. Ian's going to bed. Very good. Thanks for the report. I'm just telling you how it is, folks. I'm just trying to lay it down. I'm trying to lay down some knowledge. You know what I mean? Stoicism. Look it up. What else? So this Kyle Rittenhouse fucking thing. Kyle Rittenhouse. What a story. I was watching, what's his dick? Who are the two brothers in New York that everyone revolves around? One was the fucking mayor who got deposed, and the other one does the talk show. Chris and what's his dick? I'm Italian. We hug people or whatever the fuck. So the one that's still around, the one that hasn't been canceled yet, I actually like this guy, Chris. He seems reasonable enough. I watched his take on the whole fucking Rittenhouse thing, and he had a pretty strong take. And he made a great point that he should have been, he had a point for the defense, which did Rittenhouse aim, if the prosecution says that Rittenhouse aimed the weapon, so he is the provoker of these situations, did he aim the weapon at the same people that attacked him? Rosenbaum and the other one that died, and fucking the guy that got his arm blown off. If you're going to say that these other three guys went after Rittenhouse because he raised his gun at a fourth guy, that's a tough stretch, because you would have to prove that the three guys that went after Rittenhouse felt threatened because Rittenhouse raised his gun at a fourth guy. Now, if the fourth guy didn't go after Rittenhouse, which he didn't, because they had that little interaction between the guy saying you pointed a gun at me, and Rittenhouse says, yeah, I did, which he now says is sarcasm, and that's up for debate, but who knows? It's a great point by that Chris guy whose brother was the mayor. I can't remember all these names, folks. There's just too many names in the world. I can't remember them all. I'm trying to blow my nose. You've heard what I've said, right? I don't trust anyone. I don't trust adults on bicycles, especially at the fucking, gas station at midnight. I just don't. Right? Call me prejudicial, but against people on bicycles at fucking midnight, you know what I mean? I'm looking for a napkin. I hate when I get napkins and then I can't find them. I got a piece of cornbread. That's relatively exciting. I'm just looking for my napkin. I want to blow my nose properly, and I'm not finding a napkin. It's like okay, I found a napkin. I'm going to blow my nose off camera. I don't want to disgust you because I've got class. That's a thing that my old college buddy said, Matt Lendak. He was comparing me to another one of our college friends and said that unlike this other guy, I have class. And the other guy was like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean that Messier has class and I don't? And the guy said, well, Messier does things in a certain way all the time, but a certain style you don't. And I like to think so. So anyway, I'm just trying to help society. We don't need your hospital picks. We don't need your this. We don't need your that. I've gotten sweet potatoes from this damn place, Wawa. Let's see. Sweet potatoes are pretty good tonight. I've spent a lot of time in my car eating the last 2 years. This is something I was always opposed to be honest with you. I didn't like being a takeout, like to-go guy. I like to eat in the goddamn restaurant. Oh, you want that to go? You want that to go? The worst is when they assume you're a to-go guy. You're like, look, I need the human element. I want to sit in this fucking restaurant. I want you to talk to me. Now it's like, fuck it, I'll eat in my car. You know what I mean? The best part about having a conversation is being the one that's talking anyway. No one wants to listen. You know what I mean? That's really why we have friends, is just to have them listen to our problems. You know what I mean? But you don't really want to listen to the other person's problem because it's like, what am I, your fucking therapist? You listen to me. I don't listen to you. Oh, for Christ's sake. What else? For the wrestling fans, I have not watched AEW Dynamite yet. I've been living my own life, doing my own thing. I'll catch up to it eventually. It's like I tell you all the time. I make the world revolve around me. I don't revolve around the world. That's the difference. The difference between me and a lot of people is I don't, if a TV show is on that I want to watch, I'll tape it and I'll watch it at my convenience. If there's something happening in the world, I'll make it work for me. I'm not going to pander to it, whatever it might be. And I suggest that for everyone. Record things, zip through the commercials. Don't feel like you've got to chase this dragon of pop culture or the water cooler talk or whatever the fuck. Do your own goddamn thing. That's what I say to people. Most don't listen, or most will hear but will not act. That's the problem. Most will hear my words of wisdom yet refuse to act upon them. What can I say? I try. Holy fuck. Just trying to do my goddamn best. It was raining today. Yes, I did go to Disney World today. And it was raining. And how did I deal with that? It was fine. I was like, good, let it fucking rain. Maybe some of these goddamn families will leave. Here's the thing. Oh, I realized this about myself today. Because people say, well, Mike, you should go to Universal. Mike, you should do this. Mike, you should do that. There's something about, because they say, well, there's less families at Universal. There's just, more people, like more teenagers and people doing the rides or whatever the fuck. I kind of have a sick thing, and I just realized this about myself today, that I like going to the amusement park, namely Disney, that has a lot of families with young kids, because it makes me appreciative that I don't have kids. Is that weird? But like, it's not that like, oh, I feel good because all these happy families, all the families look miserable. Like, there's some happiness, but then the kid gets crying. There was a kid today that really had to go to the bathroom and was telling her mother this, and we were all stuck in line for the monorail, and the mother just didn't want to hear it. She's like, hold it, stop talking about it, don't think about it. The kid was desperately wanting to go to the potty, as she said. It was a sad situation because I felt more sympathetic for the kid. I mean, can you imagine the basic human indignity of not being able to go to the restroom when you have to go, and your mother's yelling at you to shut up? It's just a tough thing. The mother wanted to get on the goddamn monorail and get out of there, but we're all stuck in line. The kid's gonna go potty. Come on. But we were stuck in line because if the lady had left her spot in line, she had other kids with her. I think she had one or two other kids. She was a single mom, or a mom that was by herself at this moment. It was a very traumatic thing, because then my mind starts going all over the place. I start thinking about my own childhood and when I didn't feel like I was in control of my situation, and I'm empathizing with this child. And of course, I want to say something, but I can't. I can't tell this woman how to raise her child, and I can't help the situation. I'm a stranger. I can't volunteer to fucking do anything. You know what I mean? It's a tough situation for all involved. This poor little child. And now, whenever she thinks of Disney on some fucking level, she's going to think this is the evil place where mommy wouldn't let me go potty. So she's going to hate mice. She's going to hate Walt Disney. She's going to hate Florida. What can you do? It was supposed to be a fun trip. You know what I mean? See? Oh, God. Nice sandwich. The world just keeps moving now, doesn't it? So basically what this gentleman did, Chris, God, I can't remember his name. Cuomo, I guess, because they're Mario Cuomo's sons, right? He was basically saying, I gotta blow my fucking nose again. No, he was saying, hold on. Christ. He was saying you would have to prove that Rittenhouse raised his gun. Did Rittenhouse raise his gun earlier in the evening to Rosenbaum, the other guy who died, or the guy that got his arm blasted off? Can't really prove that, because it was a fourth guy, I believe, that he raised the gun to, if he did raise it. It's a very interesting case, because going into this case, I thought I had it all figured out. I really did, to an extent. Let's put it this way. I mean, I don't want to blow smoke, but this defense team, you have to give them credit. It's like the new dream team. These guys have raised their stock. Now, I guess there's some tension. Ready? Because are people just looking forward to rioting no matter what happens in this case? I'm not. I mean, who are you rioting on behalf? Against who? Do you want this kid to go to jail so much that you riot? I can understand people that say, well, he's guilty. They probably haven't investigated this case as much as I have. I think a lot of people just have opinions before they do any investigation. I don't know if I had a strong opinion going into it, but I had a slant. Now things are a bit different. I'm getting more enlightened. It's exciting. But I think a lot of people aren't watching the case. They're not paying attention. They're just looking to fucking protest and riot. On behalf of whom? That's my point. I don't know if there's someone who you can riot on behalf of in this one. You know what I mean? And I'd like to think that people would learn the fucking lesson. Okay, here was these protests. Unfortunately, and look, I'm all for peaceful protests and all that shit, but these protests never remain peaceful. It becomes a fucking riot at some point. So if you value your own fucking life, put the world's problems on hold for 5 minutes and think about your own fucking safety, your family's survival. You don't need to go to a goddamn protest. Hashtag something. Do that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm going to go downtown. Why? Who cares? I agree that there's many problems. The police brutality, the disproportionate numbers of African American men, especially, being killed in police interactions. There's a lot of problems here. The disproportionate amount of African Americans being pulled over by the police, as has been discussed on this podcast, Cures Racism, which I fucking host, by the way, which you should all be watching. The 3 episodes are great episodes. So I agree that there are major issues. However, how are these issues solved? I don't know if throwing a fucking garbage can through some business owner's fucking business is going to solve the issue. You know what I mean? How come there's no Brothers on the Wall? Do the Right Thing, 1989. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I really wish I did. That's what people don't understand about me. I wish that I could just snap my mighty index finger and thumb and solve the world's problems. However, it doesn't work like that. Okay? I mean, a lot of times I look at this deck of cards that you've handed me, life, and I wish I could turn the cards in and get new cards, but unfortunately I can't. This is the world that you've presented to me, and I'm dealing with it the best I fucking can. Or should I say, I'm doing the best I choose to do. Ugh. I have to be silent now. Some people just parked near me. Let's see what we got. Some type of couple. It's either... See, I'm not sure. It's one of the people is a female, and I'm not sure. The other one is either a guy who is not in great shape, or it's another woman. It's hard to tell. I didn't have my glasses on. That's fine. Whatever. All's good. You know what I mean? The world is what'd you think of this fucking thing? This woman urinating, this brass attack. Now, here's the thing, folks. I've never heard of brass fucking attack. A buddy of mine went to this concert, went to this 3-day fucking thing, this concert, 3 days. And see, that's the thing. That's about 2.5 days too much for me at this point in my life. A 3-day concert, great. Fuck off. I'll listen to some CDs in my car. You know what I mean? I'll listen to fucking YouTube music. 3 days of just standing there with other assholes, sweating and listening to fucking music. It does not sound like fun. You know what I mean? I just think things like concerts. Give me a 3-hour concert, a 4-hour concert where I can sit properly in a chair. You know what I mean? Listen to the music, drink a soda, something like that. I don't need a 3-day music festival. That's going to annoy me. I don't see the appeal to it anymore. Look, if it was Lollapalooza in 1992, Pearl Jam, 9 Inch Nails, Ice-T, you know what I mean? That's a different story. Body Count and so forth. Soundgarden. If we're talking a bunch of shit fuck bands these days, I have no interest. With this goddamn situation going around, I don't want to catch the cooties at this music festival. But people go, and what do they get for their trouble? This singer, she looks nice enough, apparently she's married to the Pentaton lady, whatever that means. Which seems like kind of a cult, like an exercise cult, if there is such a thing. That, oh, I got my Pentaton. Stupid name for a fucking exercise bike. And you're supposed to do these goddamn classes online with a bunch of fucking assholes. Why would you want to do that? It's just stupid. So, and these fucks, they talk about their pentatons like it's a relationship. Oh, my pentaton. Go fuck yourself. But I guess she's married to the spokeswoman lady, which is all well and good and fine and dandy. Fine, fine, fine. But she urinates in a man's mouth on stage. Jeez. Now, look, I mean, you know, when I was 18, I might have been excited by that. That might have been fascinating to me, and punk rock and, oh boy, Iggy Pop and yeah. But now it's like, I don't know. To me, it just seems like a cheap trick, so to speak, a shortcut. That's what I don't like about it. It's a shortcut. I'm an acting coach, and this is what happens. These acting students, they don't really take it seriously. They just want to be famous. They don't really want to know how to act. If you want to know how to fucking act, I can help you. But if you just want to be famous, my advice, take off all your goddamn clothes and run out onto an NFL football stadium field in the middle of a game. You'll be fucking famous before you know it. Well, nobody seems to do that. But this Brass Attack chick, she kind of did the next best thing. She's publicly performing. Obviously, she's got a following. The band does. And she does this little routine, this stunt. Here's the disgusting part. The recipient of said urine, I'm not sure what the fuck he did, but he like spits out the urine onto the crowd. So, fucks, don't we have like diseases going on and shit? Is this a hygienic thing? If you paid money to see this fucking band or this concert in general, and you're seeing this deplorable bathroom display, this fetish show, and this freak is spitting urine from the female singer's body onto your fucking body, how would you feel? I don't know. I guess I wouldn't feel good about it. And to me, it's a shortcut. Rather than having a bunch of great albums and great songs and a good publicist and marketing and videos and all that good stuff, it's like, let's just piss on the guy's face and we'll get a Twitter buzz out of it. And then the lady, look, I don't know who this lady is. I've never listened to her music. I'm not judging, but the next, and my friend says they're a great band. I believe them. But then she says, I'm not a shock artist. I'm not a shock artist. Well, what do you think you just did? It's like, you can't say you're not a shock artist when the biggest fame you just had comes from urinating on a fan's face on stage. That's a shock artist. So you are exactly what you did. You did a shock artist thing. It's not even art. It's just deplorable. It's like, take 5 minutes and go to the fucking ladies' room and come back. No big deal. It's like, you know, here's the question that I put on the Twitter fuck about, which nobody responded to, by the way. I put it on there because I didn't want to hide. I went to their fucking page and I posted this, and I posted on my own page. Nobody responded. I said, what do you think would happen? What do you think would have happened if a male singer had urinated in a female fan's mouth on stage at a concert? Question mark. And I put a GIF, a GIF of Bugs Bunny in prison. Okay, because that was the cutest prison thing I could find. GIF to emphasize my point. Now, Brass Attack did not fucking respond, and no one on my Twitter responded. But you think about it for a minute. What if, pick your band, pick any band in the country. I don't want to cause any trouble, but just pick any rock band, past, present, or future, obscure. If a male rock singer, especially now, like in 2021, maybe in 1965 or 1978 be different, but maybe not. I don't know. But if a male singer had done this act on stage with a female fan, it would be fucking boycotted, banned, sent to prison, hashtagged into oblivion. But because it's a female and because the male apparently enjoyed it, everyone's happy about it. It's punk rock. It's great. You know what I mean? But if this had been a male singer doing this to a female fan, it would be a travesty of justice, and this guy needs to be shot on sight, and he needs to go to prison, and he's a weirdo. But because it's a female, it's all great. Am I wrong in that assessment, or I'm absolutely fucking correct? You know I'm correct. It's a double fucking standard. We say, we as in society, at least in the United States, that men have all these advantages. In some regard, yes, but in some regard, no. And one thing that, for whatever the fuck reason, women as sexual deviants or predators, anything that women, not anything, but a lot of things that women would do, this type of situation, or female teachers who hook up or have sex with male students, that is not treated with the same disgust as the vice versa of that male with the female student. It's not. So what's with us as a society where we don't see these female predator teachers who are fucking their high school students and getting impregnated by them in some of these situations? We don't see them as a bad member of society. We don't put them in the same fucking disregard tank as we do with these male fucks. We don't. This female singer is another shining example. I'm not trying to pick on her. I'm just saying, if that had been a male singer with a female fan, this would be a whole different story. If it had been a male singer with a male fan, it would have been a whole different story. So, as much as enlightened and fair and equitable as we claim to be as a society, we're not. So that's all. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Making you think for a fucking change. Making you think. I'm just here to make you think. That's the, what do you fuck it? That's the slogan of a pal of mine. Actually, I've never met the guy, but he's a YouTube guy that I watch. Hold on. What's his name? Oh, God. I'm just here to make you think. Dane Calloway. Really great YouTube guy. If you need some more information, I did get cornbread. I'm not even hungry for it. I'll take a bite. I got a fucking Choco Taco. Somebody told me this. He could be full of shit. That if you want to eat sugar or sweets, then couple them with your protein, because the sugar helps your fucking protein. I think it was my buddy Don Martone. I don't want to misquote him. Barbarian Fitness. Don Martone, if you need a personal trainer, I believe you told me this. But I think you're supposed to have just worked out, which I can't claim that I did. Although I did have a day of walking. I got a fucking Choco Taco, which used to be now the lights are out. Choco Taco used to be the thing in my high school days. Choco Taco. And I think it used to be at Taco Bell, too. My old friend. I haven't had one of these in a while. That's just worthy of a goddamn it. This Choco Taco is fucking badass. It's like a familiar taste. There's kind of elements of a lot of good things. Like the taco is like a nice, ice cream, like a store-bought, pre-frozen ice cream thing. People are parking next to me. Seems like two females. They look like they're in their 20s. One of them is like sleeping in the car, and the other one left the car running. And I feel bad about it. She's like conked out in the car. I hope she's okay. A lot of excitement going on here. Just had the same-sex couple is now leaving. I don't want to say the butcher of the two, but I guess I just did. Is now going to drive away. These two young females. One is sleeping in their vehicle, and I'm in the middle of all the action. It's very exciting. Wawa is just hopping with excitement. Now these two girls have left their car running, so hopefully she's okay. She looks like she's conked out. Very exciting. This Choco Taco is quite good. This young lady's coming back. She's bought a bag of popcorn, perhaps. Bag of Fritos. So she pulled all the way over to purchase a bag of Fritos. That's all she did. She left the car running. She left her friend in the car alone, asleep in the passenger seat, went into the Wawa, bought the biggest bag of Fritos you can get in a Wawa at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then promptly left. No, she just had an urge for fucking Fritos. But hey, that's what the Wawa's here for. We got Fritos. We got fucking lesbians. We got teenage girls on a road trip. Thelma and Louise, 2021. We've got me. All the excitement. I've got to clean my glasses. I used about 40 fucking eyeglass wipes today. That's the problem. When you go to an amusement park these days, it's like, it was raining, and so it's like, okay, I'm going to have to use eyeglass wipes like every 2 minutes because the fucking eyeglasses get foggy, and then you grab them to clean them, and they get dirty again. It's just like a cycle. Excuse me. So how was the Mike's meals? How was it, Mike? You might be wondering. I thought the food was good. It was better than I thought. Like that fucking gobbler thing. It's just a turkey sandwich. They give it a funny name, but quite good. The key to the gobbler is you have to fucking, what's up, Hezbollah? Hey, I'm good, buddy. I'm here at the Wawa. If you go back in time, you can see what's going on. Great AEW review. I think you're referring to the one I did with Crosby, correct? Okay, thanks, man. We're segueing to the wrestling portion of our show, folks. Thoughts on the WWE releases? John Morrison was the first name listed. I'll give him credit. Sean Ross Sapp. Was it Sean Ross Sapp or Sean Ross Stapp? Give him credit where it's due because he reported this. John Morrison, who's a friend of friends of mine, not my friend, but a friend of friends, and his wife. I mean, you could kind of see it coming because his wife, Taya Valkyrie, was released, a month ago or less than a month ago, and so John was released today. I think it's kind of like they brought him in. He did his same thing. Are you surprised with any of them? I wouldn't say surprised. I think with Morris, here's the thing. What was the Hit Row? Has Hit Row been released in its entirety now, Hezbollah? because I think that they released two people. One guy was the MLW champion, right? Before, like a year or two ago. I believe he was released, and I believe the big guy in Hit Row was released, and the lady BFAB was released. The last time, a month ago, so, or less than a month ago. I guess I'm confused by that. They seem like they had something there. People were kind of into them. I do find that WWE typically, in the warped imaginations of Vince and Pritchard, that's how they see African American people, as these fucking rapping Puff Daddy 1997 stereotypes. And no offense to Hit Row, but they were just kind of playing the role that they were given. But I thought doing a pretty good job of it. I mean, if you look at the history, Crime Time and stuff like that, Vince and Bruce have this weird view of the world. Okay. But that all being said, Hit Row was doing pretty well. Seemed like people were into them. They seemed like they had potential. And now I think they're all gone, right? Do I think John Morrison will end up in AEW or back in Impact? Great question. Good question. I could see Cody making a push. I mean, it really depends. Here's the factors. To sum it up, I'll say I would most likely think Taya and Morrison will end up in Impact. Vince has definitely lost his marbles. The dementia has definitely kicked in. Yeah, I've been saying that, bro, for a couple of years. You can watch my history of videos, and I don't even laugh about it. I did do a nice video, my Vince McMahon tribute video. I did about 8 months ago, and I did my living tribute. Like, what if Vince were to have died tonight? What would I say about Vince? I did a nice video, maybe 17 minutes long. I do feel that Vince has got some early onset dementia. A source of mine speculated, I don't know if this is fact, that if you remember that WrestleMania where Brock wrestled Roman and the fans were booing the match out of the arena, like not the Seth Rollins one, but 2 or 3 years later, maybe 4 years later, when Brock kind of pinned Roman clean in the middle of the ring. Apparently, according to my source, Roman was scheduled to win the match and win the title that night, but Vince didn't like the way that the fans were reacting to the match, and he called an audible, and they quickly had Brock win the match clean. And apparently Roman was supposed to win that fucking title that night, but Vince didn't like the crowd reaction, and he changed his mind mid-match. So I don't know. Any surprises? I guess what I'm saying, buddy, is the Hit Row. The fact that Hit Row is all fired, it surprises me because it seems like they were just there and just getting going. So I don't really understand it. Morrison, I'm not too surprised because once they fired his wife, you kind of figured. You heard Vince Russo say that. You heard Russo say that. I'm assuming you mean Vince Russo. And you're talking about what I just said about Vince McMahon and Brock and Roman, or are you talking about Hit Row? So remember, buddies, you got to clarify, Hezbollah, because by the time you make your comment, I might have said 20 other things. So always, if you can, just clarify, because I don't want to get confused. Here's the thing. You ready? I don't think it's such a bad thing that these talents are fired. I think the biggest crime is not that they're hired and fired, is the lost time. Now, here's the other thing. Knowing wrestlers as I do, if they're getting paid for a year not to bump, they'll take it. Yes, not Gianni Russo. Yes, on Vince. Okay. Yeah, Vince Russo. So you're saying the dementia, but what did Russo say that I also said? The dementia thing or the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns WrestleMania story? That's what I'm asking. What topic did I say that you're saying Russo and I are in agreement? Now, of course, I've been a guest on the Vince Russo show. Great guy, Vince Russo. I didn't agree with some of his recent hires. He went to the far right with some of his recent hires for his Realm Network. I didn't agree with that. I spoke up to Vince. You know, if you're going to hire someone outspoken, hire me. The Brock story, right? So, yeah, apparently that was my source. It wasn't Vince Russo. It was a different source. Was telling me that Vince called an audible, and it was supposed to be Roman beating Brock at that WrestleMania 3 or 4 years ago, or 5 years ago. Time flies, doesn't it? Anyway, so I didn't watch Dynamite yet. I will watch it, Hasbulla, so please no spoilers. From what I understand, there's some type of, they're already launching the Daniel Bryanson, or Brian Danielson, Omega, Kenny fucking thing. I'll watch it and then I'll get back to you. Monty and the Pharaoh has my AEW opinions. See, the last 3 or 4 days, I haven't watched a lot of wrestling. I do tell you what I watched, though, buddy. I watched an old WWF match on YouTube. It was a 3-man tag. You could probably find this on YouTube. If you want to go back, I believe it's 1982, maybe 83. Rocky Johnson, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and Andre the Giant against Captain Lou Albano, substituting for Sika, which is Roman Reigns' father. Interesting that Sika took a night off, just like Roman took a night off from WrestleMania when he was supposed to fight Goldberg. But Arthur, the Wild Samoan, Captain Lou Albano, and with Classy Freddie Blassie in his corner, Big John Studd. Big John Studd, Lou Albano, I believe, and Arthur, those are all Hall of Famers from WWE. And Rocky, Snuka, and Andre are all Hall of Famers. And Blassie's a Hall of Famer. So 7 Hall of Famers. They had the best out of 5 match. Shout out to Jake Hudson and the HWO. Yeah, Jake's been messaging me. I will do a thing with Jake. I've just been traveling so often. Tell Jake that I haven't forgotten about him. It's just I've been traveling. So I haven't been able to connect with Jake, but we will. What can I say? So this match, here's the thing, Hasbulla, and I don't know, I'm guessing you're maybe about 30, maybe a little younger, a little older, I don't know. But if you want to get into the history of pro wrestling, especially WWE, but all pro wrestling, just go on YouTube and just dig up some, like, for WWF fans especially, I encourage you to look up these old house shows. The Philadelphia Spectrum, the Capitol Center, and Madison Square Garden seem to be the most popular choices. But you have like the USA Network and all these local affiliates had these wrestling matches taped for cable. I'm talking the Bob Backlund days, not even Hulk Hogan, but I'm talking like basically they start around 81, 82. Back in the arena days, early 80s, when you would go to a live show, sometimes the local cable affiliate would broadcast the matches. They used to have things like Home Team Sports in DC. Netson is in New England Sports Network. And they would actually broadcast the wrestling shows. And some of these things are great. And a lot of YouTubers have uploaded this stuff, and it's very fun to watch. You sit there, you can watch a 20-minute draw between Johnny Rods and Luis Rivera. It's always exciting. And then you see like a whole card. You see back in the day, Hasbulla, the promotions used to really orchestrate a pro wrestling card as one might a record album. That's a friend of mine, and I used to watch matches on the network. My buddy would always just want to watch one match, and he asked for my suggestions and my insight on what's a good match. But I said, you got to watch a whole card, because a card, like a wrestling program, it used to be orchestrated like a record album. So it's just better to listen to the whole album or watch the whole card. And I don't know if that's the way anymore, but it should be. But look into it, buddy. I mean, you can find these Bob Backlund matches. You can find some Bruno versus Ken Patera stuff. And, I'm just curious because maybe you watch a few of these things and you might be saying, you know what, I prefer the modern stuff over this. And that's fine. But you can see, as a wrestling fan historian yourself, Hasbulla, you can see the arcs and how things change, how things have stayed the same. I do say this, there is a certain magical chemistry about that ring. The fact that we have this 4-sided ring, 3 sets of ropes, and anywhere from 20 to 20,000 people in an arena or more watching this thing happen, even though pretty much everybody is in on it, on what's going on, we still watch it. And there's something magical about that, no matter how much the WWE tries to sugarcoat it, homogenize it. But there's always going to be a rebellion, like AEW or Impact Wrestling or WCW or whatever. I'm sure I think a lot of Lucha Underground from a few years ago, which I really didn't get into, but I know a lot of people did. Maybe I should have. You know, I don't know what to tell you. I guess what I was going to say is, why do I sometimes not get into some of these other wrestling federations like a Lucha Underground? I didn't want to go into a whole big thing, but basically it's because I don't want to get emotionally attached to something that's going to go away pretty soon. And what makes AEW different is because they started off with a lot of money. That's all. You know, it's just Cornette has a great line. How do you make $1 million in the wrestling business? Spend $2 million. You know, it's just when these companies, then people say, Mike, why don't you be a wrestling promoter? Well, if I had 20 million sitting around, I'd probably make a bunch of movies first. But then, you know, a wrestling federation with the egos of these guys and the health risks, it's not really worth it unless you have a fucking lot of money to spend. And Tony Khan, God bless him, does. So what can I say? I mean, that's just the way it is, man. Some things will never change. Bruce Hornsby in the range. So there you have it, folks. 56 minutes. Mike's Meals for the Ages. It was Chungus earlier from France today, who exposed that he is from France. Not exposed, but revealed. There are some people here. There's another person on a bicycle. All right. I think that might be my cue to leave. I see this individual kind of eyeing everybody. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. I'm going to leave when the going's good. Like I say, when you start seeing too many people on bikes at the fucking thing, it's time to go. Good night, everybody. Messier YouTube channel. Subscribe.